rid of that static. So we were just talking about relationships and the importance of, if one does decide to get married, what kind of partnership can really add years to your life. From your experience working with women and especially in your coaching, and I know you've done groups for women on relationships.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things
think
you
that
cover in that?
one of the biggest traps that women fall into in relationships, whether they're married or not, and it starts from a young age, is to think that a man is going to complete you. Mm-hmm. Let me get rid of that.
Right.
Out there in the ether, no one can complete you but you. And that is such an important thing for women, especially because generally I think that women tend to lose themselves in a relationship more than men. I don't know whether it's we're socialized that way, we're raised that way, but a lot of times the women think that once they're in a relationship that this guy's everything. They stop having other relationships, I'm talking about men and friendships, they stop seeing going out, having a good time. Everything becomes so about this person that they actually end up losing themselves.
Right.
So I think that really needs to be etched at the back of our minds, that only I can complete myself. So that means I am responsible for my happiness. I am responsible for making my life more wonderful if I feel like it's lacking. That's not to say you can't share wonderful and happy moments with your partner.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, we are completely responsible for the tone of our thoughts and our life. So I think that's a really important thing for young girls to know, and as role models for us older women to mirror that to young women, so that they will grow up knowing that I don't need anybody to complete me but myself.
Because it's an interesting thing, I think, that happens in relationships, is in any relationship between two people, there's actually 4 relationships going on. There's that person's relationship with you, and then there's that person's relationship with themselves. Mm-hmm. There's your relationship with that person, and then there's your relationship with yourself.
And there's one more.
Yes.
There's the relationship as a separate entity. So it's like, if that relationship as a separate entity is not being fed, as well as all of those other parts, which is me and you, me, him, and all, everything has to be fed. So if you yourself are giving up part of yourself to try and feed the relationship part, you're going to feel a lack, you're going to get depressed, you're going to feel possessive and get jealous. Whereas if you're feeding yourself, you become 2 strong individuals. So start off from a place where you have these strengths, and you cannot complete each other, but enhance each other's lives.
Love that. I love that word, enhance. We have a question?
What do you do if your husband won't be romantic?
Okay, so we have a question for Angela. What can you do if your husband won't be romantic?
That's a tough one, because if he won't be romantic, that shows to me there's something deeper going on than just the romance.
Right.
It seems to me that there are a lot more hidden things that need to be addressed. It's not just about romance, it's about, are you really connecting? And connecting isn't just about romance, it's about knowing who that person is and what's going on inside of him. Why is he not willing to do something that could enrich your relationship? So I think you've got to really look at some deeper issues there. It's not about the romance. It's something that's
No, the behavior is the effect. It's not the cause.
It is. It's exactly, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Those things, if there's lack of sex, if there's lack of romance,
right?
Like you said, those are just the outcomes.
Right.
They're not the cause. It's just another way of disconnecting.
Yeah, it's like the symptom. It's not
it is.
the
So you have to go,
root.
maybe a therapist, and figure out why your partner does not want to connect with you in that way, and look at some of the deeper issues.
Or also, like you were saying, I
helps.
loved when you talked about having real talks with each other, where it's not about, and I loved what you said, it's not about making that other person wrong, it's not about being nasty or critical, it's about really just sharing where you are, what you need, how can you enhance the other person, how can they help enhance you, what do
exactly.
you, and I think also, who are we being in the relationship is an important question to ask too.
This is true, and I think that a lot of time, well, most of the time, I think people come to marriage with high expectations and low preparation. I think it should be reverse. I think that people should do a lot more preparation and know what they're getting into, and they won't be so disappointed. But I think that, we have to really learn how to talk to each other in marriage, without attacking. And that can get very difficult when you are stressed, when you feel like your needs are not being met. Yes. And I think from my husband and I, one of the things that we've learned is that when we get to an impasse, like when things are just getting heated, and we have arguments like anybody else. So I always tell people who say, wow, you've been married 30 years, great. I said, yes, it is great. And I'm very thankful for that. But no marriage is perfect. We have to work on things like anybody else.
Sure.
But one of the things that we have learned is that when things get so heated and nobody can see a resolution at that moment, that it's okay to take time apart, either by staying in separate rooms for a while or whatever you need to do so that it calms down so you can come back and talk without screaming.
I love that. So I know we're getting close to the end of our show here, and I know that you had some helpful hints and just some words that you wanted to share with people, thoughts and ideas that might empower women, especially in aging gracefully, just to wrap us up.
Yeah, well, we talked earlier on about living each day as if it could be your last.
Right.
So basically for me,
that level of gratitude.
My way of living is to wake up each morning and give myself a 24-hour wake-up call, which means in the morning when I meditate, I literally, I name the day, I name the date, and I say to myself, this day will never come again. So how am I going to live this day? How can I be present? How can I be awake? And that means in everything, whether in relationships where it's having a dialogue or having a meal, each day to find something to celebrate, to be grateful for, and to appreciate. And it's so easy to go the other way and to find things to complain about.
Right.
It takes focus to see life in a different way.
Absolutely.
The other biggie is forgiveness. I think that forgiveness is huge. You can't move forward in life with an open heart if you're carrying a long list of resentments. It just doesn't work. Forgiveness shows up in your body and eats away at your peace. And I just say, really, you have to work at letting go of forgiveness. And again, I mentioned it many times, just be grateful. Grateful for all the many blessings, and take your gratitude and then be of service. Do something for somebody else. Serve in whatever way works for you. And I think if you live your life in that mode of being, that you will find that your life is aging gracefully and that you find joy. And that's what the good things are in life. That's what the beauty of aging is really all about.
Yeah, because that joy, that's what's attractive. That's what's vivacious. That's what's electric.
Even
that's
when things are not
attractive.
great, don't get attached to the conditions, but keep going back inside to that source so you won't be so pulled and swayed when things get tough.
So you have shared so much wonderful information with us. If our viewers would like to see more of your work and more of you and your beautiful photographs, I can't stop talking about them. They really are gorgeous. How can they find you?
Well, first you can go to my website, www.angelapaull.com. That's pretty easy. And they can follow me also on Twitter, which is Angela-Paul, which is pretty easy also. You can also follow me on Facebook, my fan page and my friend page. And you can buy my book at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, BooksAMillion.com.
Yes, and
it'll be in bookstores soon. So, check it out, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Definitely. And also you want to maybe check out her first book, too. It's Hard Being Human, Thoughts on the Journey from Suffering to Joy. It was published in 2006. And for all you Michael Beckwith fans, he actually wrote the foreword to that book. Well done. That's
another
beautiful.
blessing.
I love that. Thank you to all of our viewers and our chatters for your comments and your questions. Thank you for joining Angela and I today on Motivational Chat. We are on actorsentertainment.com. We're here every Wednesday.
Jamie.
Oh, thank you. We're here
Thank
every
you, everybody.
Wednesday, 10 a.m. Hollywood, California time. Check us out. And tomorrow on Actors E-Chat Show, we have, now I hope I'm saying this right, Nino Buzon and Peter Voss.
Yes.
All right. I just want to make sure I'm saying that right. Names are important. They're the creators of A Man Walks Into a Bar. Stay tuned for our Actors Reporter animation, which won Best Animation from Telly Awards.
Wow.
Thank you, And Now Productions and Pepper J Productions for that animation. Thank you for joining us, Angela. I give this to you for the moment. Thank you so much for being here with us today. This is your award for being a fabulous